Hi, Dawn. Thank you for being a part of the Unstoppable Together, The Future is Accessible mini-series. We are excited to hear your perspectives on leadership, advocacy, and the future of disability justice. I am Taylor Lee. I am the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition's Leadership and Advocacy intern. And today we get to speak with you, Dawn. Do you mind introducing yourself to everyone?
Sure. My name is Dawn Tripp-Sena, and I am retired, but I have been a social worker for about 35 years. Which social work is advocacy, and the reason why I got into that field was we moved to Pueblo from Denver when I was 5. My dad got a job at the mill. We moved across the street from a foster home, and we made friends with the kids. I went over one day, and one of the kids was standing in the corner on one foot, naked.
Oh.
And I remember thinking to myself, I will never let that happen to anyone else again.
Yeah.
So, I started school, and I have a congenital deformity of my left hand. I didn't know anything was wrong with me until I started school and the kids started teasing me. Mm-hmm. And being the advocate I had already decided to be, I started making friends with the kids that had something wrong with them. Mm-hmm. And so that they wouldn't, yes, so they wouldn't be bullied. I would stand up for them. So that's how I was 5 when I started.
That's beautiful.
And I've continued that.
Yeah, you've always had that feistiness.
Yeah.
And, a sense of what's right and wrong,
yes.
Right?
Yes, so, absolutely.
Do you remember what happened past when you saw that little boy in that position? Do you remember how you were able to react?
I just remember it was actually a little girl.
Oh.
And I don't remember what I did. I might have gone home and tell my mom. Mm-hmm. But eventually that little girl came to live with us.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still friends with her today. We had kids at the same time, our first and second kids at the same time, and we go to the same church. But so my mom had that in her heart also. We always had kids living with us that were having issues at home or something. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And Dawn, you and I actually know each other through family friends. So
yeah,
it's nice. Pueblo, Colorado is quite a small community.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of us for sure. But so we are asking people to imagine the future. So let's start there. What does an accessible future look like to you, and how do we get there together?
Yeah. I think that the people with disabilities need to be, the decision makers need to be a part of, like the ADA. I think that even the ADA has missed some things. Thinking outside of the box, thinking of how would I be able to do this if I was in that situation. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm 65 years old, and so I've seen a lot since the ADA of advances, which I'm really excited about. But there's also some disadvantages still that people haven't thought about.
Mm-hmm. Do you have examples?
Yeah, I also like when I go to a restaurant and I order a baked potato, mm-hmm. and they have those salt and pepper shakers that are like grinders. I can't grind them because I don't have the ability. I don't have two hands with fingers. Mm-hmm. And so I've got to put it up against my body and mm-hmm. try to turn it if I'm by myself. My husband will do it for me, but I don't want to be independent.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want my husband to have to salt and pepper my potato.
Exactly.
So I think, why does somebody not think of these kind of things?
Or have another option.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and it sounds like a little thing, but it's a big thing.
It affects you every time you go out, right. If they have them.
Yes.
So yeah, that's interesting. And I heard before that with the ADA, there had to be so many, they had to kind of meet in the middle for all people with disabilities. But what we know is that each person with disability is different. We all need different things.
Yes.
Even if I meet another blind person, they might have different accommodations they'd like versus, or what they need and versus what I need, you know? So it's, when I learned that, is like, oh, so there's so much more to do further than just the basic compliance of
Absolutely.
things. So, and when you have gone from having a family who's very generous and kind, and then you go into a field like social work, have you seen progress in one way or another, or what else do you think needs to be done?
Actually, I'm going to say that I started off as into nursing.
Okay.
I actually got pregnant in college and wanted to get something quick, so I wouldn't have to be on the system. And so I went for practical nurse. And I went for the interview, I made it through, everything was fine. But when we started doing things like hand washing, they noticed that I didn't have fingers and told me, basically kicked me out of the program before I failed, and came home crying. My brother took me back to the school and said, "You will not fail her until she fails."
Yeah.
You don't, so I had a nurse, her name was Jessie Quintana, who took it upon herself to show me the things that I needed to do beforehand so that I could figure it out. People with disabilities, we think, how can I say this? We don't come up thinking like people with abilities. We have our own way of thinking. So when I look at something and they say, "Hey, you have to give this shot and you have to do it this way," I think of how I can do it. I don't think of how you can do it. And so she understood that and took me aside and said, "Okay, this is the next thing that we're going to be learning. This is how I do it. How would you do it?"
Yeah.
And so we ended up going to a conference, and we spoke at a conference for nurses with disabilities. So hopefully that field has changed. But when I went to get my registered nurse, I decided I never wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a social worker. So I went into social work, which was better because I didn't have to put my hands on people, which is something that patients in hospitals, some people were like, "Don't touch me."
Oh, wow.
Things like that. Yeah. So social work seems to be a field where they're working for those types of people. So it was easier in social work.
Yeah.
I also teach social work. So when I go into the class, the first thing I tell them is, I have a limb difference, just so they don't have to ask me questions. And right from the beginning, we know, and people aren't shocked when they see it.
Yeah. Did you find that that's something you've had to do even outside of other places or anything, just to kind of get it out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Sometimes I'm like, I'm blind, especially in drive-through windows.
Yeah.
I can pass as a blind or sighted person. And so in order to not drop the food or something, I'm like, just, I'm totally blind. So I'm not just wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
Keep that sun out of my eyes. But yeah, it just helps to be forward, and it takes courage to be able to do that too, because some people would just want to hide themselves.
Yes.
And you got things to do. So there's no time to hide.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like for you to imagine the future, and what would you like to happen in the next 5 years, and who needs to be a part of that conversation in order to make that happen?
In the next 5 years, I think I would like society to be more welcoming of people with disabilities, listen to what they have to say, and include them in all discussions about them, so that they get an understanding of what our needs actually are. Thinking outside of the box, being more inclusive of people. I mean, it just seems like if you have a disability, you're looked at as being less intellectual, also, like you're not as smart as somebody that
I've heard it be called a hazard. They're hazardous.
Yeah.
We're burdens, you know?
Yeah,
We're in the way.
absolutely.
And that's actually plenty of amazing innovations have happened because
Yes.
of people with disabilities having to do
Absolutely.
things differently. I learned that a blind man, I might have said this before, but a blind man created cruise control because his friend had a heavy foot when he took him to work, and he was an engineer, and he made something for sighted people who use it every day.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like things like that. Like we have to think differently in order to do the same things as everyone else, because we
Absolutely.
need to live a life. We need to get things done and make a life for ourselves, and we just have to find workarounds. Troubleshooting is like a huge thing. So
Yes.
us having to think outside of the box is actually helping everyone, because also an electric toothbrush was created by for a person with a disability. And listen, we all have electric toothbrush these days, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So if people with disabilities led
Mm-hmm.
the industry, everybody would benefit from the things that we need.
Yeah.
And everybody does benefit from them.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing to be a part of a community that's so diverse and so interested in helping each other.
Yes.
You know, we're not gonna like you did when you were a kid. You saw that person, they needed help, and you did something about it.
Yeah.
And so many people would be like, that's not my place or something, but you took it upon yourself to be like, no, that person deserves to be treated well, just like anyone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who is new to finding their voice in this movement? What would you tell them? Any advice for them?
Their voice is needed, and that we are listening. And even if it's scary, to continue to speak up, because what we have to say changes the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Can you imagine yourself as a younger person versus now as a retired person, and kind of where you have grown? What's that like?
Well, I definitely have grown in the being who I am, being authentic. This is who I am. I've made it this far. I've done great things. And so take me or leave me. Whereas when I was younger, I did hide a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't remember, but one of my friends still today told me in first grade that I hadn't put my hand in a tissue box so people couldn't see it. Oh, I don't want to get tearful, but yeah, so I did do a lot of hiding when I was younger. A lot, and didn't participate in a lot of things, considered myself shy. At this moment, I am very much outspoken, loud advocate, and sometimes wish I could go back and change some stuff, but I learned from everything that I went through.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why education is so important, and awareness, because there are other kids like you now, and they may be going through similar things. And just hearing a woman who has had a successful life will be so great. And for them to know that don't hide yourself. People just need to be getting over differences, because even those people who are able-bodied, they one day may be temporarily disabled, or disabled for whatever reason, or they might just have a bad day where they just need somebody to be kind to them. So definitely, I love that kindness has been your leader in all of this. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. So thank you, Dawn, for being a part of the Unstoppable Together. The future is accessible. We truly believe that you embody what it means to be unstoppable. And if you would like to learn anything more about Dawn or other amazing, incredible advocates we work with, join us on social media. We are at CCDC Online across all platforms on YouTube, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And we would love to see you on there engaging with us. And please check out our website, www.ccdconline.org. And remember, together we are unstoppable.